everyone. Hi, you guys. Thank you so much for joining the virtual live stream launch of my book, right? That is available today. So, thank you all very, very much. So, first of all, let me introduce myself. For those of you guys who don't know who I am and are watching me for the very first time, I am Dr. Sidjae Price, a best-selling author, speaker, and entrepreneur of SidjaePrice.com. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We are celebrating the launch of my book, Chasing Rainbows. So I'm very excited. I definitely have to thank you guys for being here. For the individuals who have called, text, DM, purchased the book already, have began reading the book already. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate it. I have been seeing the comments, the feedback, the shares, the reposts, the quotes. I'm going to guess there's been a lot of bomb quotes that are happening inside of the book. So thank you guys for sharing that. I definitely appreciate it. I've had individuals from all over that has reached out to me about this book, which is really crazy to me because it literally was just a situation where I chose to step out on faith and write the book. And then I've had individuals in South Africa, UK, Tunisia, Canada, Pakistan that have reached out to me about the book. So it's a little bit of uncomfortable, but that's growth, right? It's not supposed to be comfortable. So thank you all. No matter where you're tuning in for, I really do appreciate it. So I want to say that. All right. So that's number one. That's the intro. Now, the book. It is available. No more tell you guys it's coming soon. No more questions. It is available. If you go to sidjaeprice.com/chasing rainbows, you will be able to purchase the book. It is available globally. So you'll be able to purchase it whether you're in the UK. Once you have an Amazon basically in your country, then you can order it and then Amazon will deal with the shipping and all that logistic stuff. So once you have an Amazon, just go to your Amazon and purchase the book, right? And if you don't have an Amazon that will deliver the physical book, you can still go to Amazon and get the Kindle version as well, and that's only $6.99. The paperback copy is $19.95, and there is a hardcover version as well that is available. So all those links are at sidjaeprice.com/chasing rainbows. All right. When you get your book, please take a picture of it, tag me, share. I would definitely like to know your feedback. And if you have purchased the book already and began reading it, or you've received your pre-order via Kindle, then please leave a review on Amazon. It helps me a lot. So leave a review of the book on Amazon. Please rate it, leave your honest feedback. If you don't want to share, then have other feedback from me, then you guys know you guys are more than welcome to send me a message. All right. What else is happening? So, the merch behind me. As you guys know, I also have merch as well for the book. We have pillows, cups. We have this sweatshirt here that I'm wearing that says "Secure in the Bag with God." All right. And we have shirts and all that good stuff. Same link as well, sidjaeprice.com/chasing rainbows. All right. So that is about the book. Now, over the next month, or I just want to say for the rest of 2020, since we're almost out of here, right? That I'll be having a virtual tour happening. So be on the lookout for that and more notifications about that. All right. But for today, we're going to be discussing, we're going to be having a priceless convo about chasing rainbows and God in your business. Let's talk about that. So let's bring on our guest for today. All right. So first up, we have Dr. Dee Evans, who is an entrepreneur, author, theologian, and a life coach. She's phenomenal. Dr. Dee? Well, it's Dr. Evans, but I'm gonna call her Dr. D.
Hello, Dr. D is fine.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely.
I I will allow for you to introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Dee, Dr. D. I love God. I love business. I love entrepreneurship. I own Quantity Training and Consulting. And of course, I'm an author, just like my friend Dr. Price over here. And I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Thank you for being a part of this. I truly appreciate it. The next person that we're gonna bring on is Alex. Um, Alex is doing some amazing work. Her work focuses on mental health, depression, dealing with addiction, stuff like that. And she has an amazing YouTube channel as well. And she will be launching her very own clothing line, which is going to be a nonprofit organization to help the cause. So, welcome, Alex, to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, Alex. Thank you so much for being here. I will allow for you as well to introduce yourself.
Well, I am very grateful to be here. Thank you. And yes, what you said sums me up in a nutshell. I am all about empowering freedom in women's lives, especially from addiction and mental health issues. I always believe there's hope with God involved. And I am starting a clothing company that is all from God and his guidance. So my MBA has come in handy for that. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be doing it.
That's amazing. It's funny you say that because clearly we all have an educational background, an academic background, and it's amazing how, like, you go to school for one thing, and I'm sure you guys didn't go to school to like own your own business, but it so happened that you're probably using the degree to work in business. So nevertheless, let's jump right into it. So we're going to be talking about God and business and chasing rainbows. So just to update you, well, just to let you ladies know, like, I wrote the book because I started business around 2014. And when I started business, it was a thing where you're trying to get to the bag, you're trying to get to the money, like you just sometimes, like, it's just the reality, like some of us, we start and we don't really think it through from God's eyes, like we don't stop to ask God what happened. So for me, it felt like I was just chasing rainbows, searching for that pot of gold. Like when you're younger, they tell us, oh, there's a pot of gold on the other end of the rainbow. So that's how the name came about. So my question for you ladies is, how do you allow God to lead in your business? And either of you can go first, or I'll start with Dr. D.
How do I allow God to lead in my business? I honestly don't do anything outside of prayer. I pray before I do any type of, coaching, consulting, even prayer, reading scripture, and worship. I've gotten the habit now of taking little pockets of time throughout the day, just to worship, just to hear God, because a lot can happen between the time I wake up and lunch. Okay. So I've learned to lean on his promises and his word. And that's how I feel like I've made the best decisions in my business, because I put God before my feelings.
That's a good one. Putting God before your feelings. That is a good one. That is a good one, because a lot of times, how the world of social media is, we can be so distracted, and maybe we're like, okay, I don't like this person because of what they post, so let me not work with them, and it's like, no, what if God wanted you to work with the person despite, of their imperfections, like if God sent you to work with them, why won't you work with them? It doesn't matter if you think they're a sinner or you want to judge, so that's a good one. So Alex, what about you? How do you allow God to lead in your business?
Well, she took the words out of my mouth. Oh my gosh, so good. I literally was going to say prayer. So I can just emphasize on why that's important in my life, with business. Mainly because both my businesses, both the YouTube that I'm doing right now, the YouTube channel, and the clothing company, it has all been centered around God. So I need him to continuously be talking to me and guiding me, because he's the one that in a way started me doing it. So without checking in constantly with God through prayer, then I feel like you can start kind of doing your own will and get off track. And then before you know it, you're totally doing, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but maybe not what you were originally supposed to be doing. So that's why, seriously, I love that we both honestly like said prayer, because I think that's it. It's like you have to keep God in the center. And the easiest way to do that is prayer. And of course, Bible studies and, you know, being in the Word and fellowship, all of that. But prayer is easy, it's quick, you know, and it's important for business.
It's funny you mentioned that, well, not funny, but all of us mentioned that God and praying in our business. And it's so interesting because I felt like when I started in business, or at least when I entered into the online world, right, into the social media world, which is the biggest issue, I think, for us as business people, I was not praying enough. I wasn't praying enough, and that distracted me from actually going about and doing what God wanted to do. And I've seen how God is like paused me in my business, and then now coming full 360, I still have to go back to the original plan anyways that he gave me. So you ladies are the good people. I am the crazy person that was stubborn. I was stubborn. So, but a question that I get asked also often is, how do you figure out how God speaks to you? You know, so we know that praying is one, and that's how we, you know, most of us as individuals, faith-based entrepreneurs, that's how we speak to God. But how do you figure out how God speaks to you? So, you know, I believe that each of us is different, but like, how did you really recognize how did God speak to you? Like for me, it took me a while to realize that my dreams, like that was the time that God would like send me a message. You know, and for some people they'll be like, you know, I can hear the voice of God, or I can see things, like, and for me it's not like that. A lot of my instructions come from when I'm sleeping, probably because I like to sleep. But what about you ladies as well?
Who's starting?
You can go ahead.
Well, I think the easiest way for me to, you know, I guess put how God speaks to me is, I'm stealing this from Dr. Terry Turley. I remember teaching at Oak Tree Academy, and we were teaching the kids how to hear God. And we taught them that they hear God through the voice in their head. So we asked them to sing happy birthday in their head. And so they're like, and we're like, so whose voice did you hear? And they were like, mine. We're like, that's how God speaks to you. And my mind was blown. I was like, that's exactly how God talks to me. Like I hear him, but in my own voice sometimes. Sometimes it's a soft whisper, sometimes it's faint, sometimes it's loud. But that type of like auditory direction is what has led me the past few years. And also, Dr. Price, I am extremely dream-led. God speaks to me a lot through my dreams. And he confirms sometimes through, you know, an audible word. You know, that's kind of how I would practice the presence of God and hear him. So I think it's interesting that you're a dreamer as well. I love dreams. They really give me great direction.
Ooh, they do. They really do. How about you, Alex?
Well, I'm over here a little jealous of you both, because I wish he spoke to me in dreams, but that's not my case, and it's okay. But I think that's so cool that you guys have dreams. For me, it is definitely the audible voice. And I think it's so hard, like you were saying, Dr. D, to believe that it really is you. And it's so easy to convince yourself that you're making it up. So I think what's really important, how God confirms that I wasn't just making it up, is I kind of look for signs or confirmations that it truly was from God. And you can do that either through reading the word, or literally, like, sometimes when I just go on a walk, like the perfect song will come on, and then in that moment I just know. So I think just keeping the forefront of your mind when you're trying to like really hear the voice of God, and like don't forget about it after you're done praying, like just keep thinking about it all day. And when you're doing that, I think God always speaks to us. We just have to be aware of it. So being aware of it helps. And I do want to suggest, there's this amazing book that I actually got once I really started hearing from God and like totally was doubting myself. It's by Priscilla Shirer, and it's called Discerning the Voice of God. And it literally, like, I don't know what it did, but it helped me be much bolder in believing that God really is the one speaking to me and I'm not making it up. So I'm just going to throw that out there. It helps. If you have doubt, then that's a good one.
Yeah. And it's, I think no matter which way, like it doesn't matter which method God chooses to speak to us. I think there are moments where we do question, like, did you really, like, what did you really mean in the dream? Did you really say what you said? And we do question that. So I think either way, that sounds like a great book to check out. Either way. Yeah, I definitely love that. So for you, Alex, I noticed that for you, when I met you, I was really drawn to your Instagram page because automatically right off the bat, like, you let people know that your business and your faith, like, they coexisted, like they related. And for me, it wasn't like that. Because I was, as I said, I was really distracted, and I was told by the experts that you shouldn't put God in your business. So, like, as far as in, like, put him like on social media or stuff like that, like not let individuals know, what's happening. So how do you feel about making faith and business coexist publicly?
Well, I feel like maybe it's just at the center of my life because, like you mentioned way back, like, I'm an ex-addict. I've been sober for 9 years. And I think for so long I wasn't doing God's will. So I think I just have this fear of not doing God's will. And truly, I think God's will is just loving God and loving other people. It's not as complicated as I think people think it is. But because of that, I think that's why it's so natural for me to, like, keep God in the center of it, because even just with, like, getting paid to do things like with my clothing company, you don't have to donate money like what I'm going to be doing to charities, but in a way it almost helps me stay accountable that, this is also another passion of mine, is charity. So it's just a way to not, like, let greed come in. And I think it's fine if God, like, isn't your, like, mission statement of your business, but I think just keeping like we've talked about, like, prayer in the center of it, just so that like, you still are doing, like, God's will. But for me, it's just, I almost did it as, like, a checks and balances because, like, I just have such that fear of not doing his will. It's just, like, I want him, like, in the center. And yeah.
I respect that. I definitely respect that. So in the book, I discuss about the bag, securing the bag, like the popular saying that's of our culture. Everyone is trying to secure the bag one way or the other. So have you guys noticed what do you guys believe? Let me go back on how detrimental it can be if you don't have God in your business and as the center of your business. Dr. D, you can answer that one. How do you think about that?
I think that God has to be the center because we clearly see throughout the Gospels that the first people he picked were entrepreneurs to spread the message. And for me, that speaks volumes, number one. If you can be a fisherman and follow Jesus around, I need to take some notes. Secondly, I believe Jesus Christ is the greatest leader that ever lived. And so not just leading people to the kingdom, I believe that God is an intellectual being. And so it would behoove me to not ask for his guidance and leadership, not just for my spiritual life, but for, my money and how I manage it, especially as it relates to the business. The third thing I would say is that Jesus never had an issue with wealth. He had an issue with greed. And I need Jesus. I need the Holy Spirit to make sure that greed doesn't enter my heart. That while I'm securing the bag, that I make sure the focus is that his will is done, that he's pleased with me, and not just buying this, buying that, getting to the next thing, because I don't want to fall into that Egyptian system of just being a slave, of you keep working with bricks and straw and you realize that's not the goal here, right? So that's how I keep God at the center. God, make sure that I'm in your will. And, I hope that answered your question.
It really did, because it's actually, it's alignment, because a part of the book, like I write about how my business mindset started to shift after I started to dive deeper into the word. And when I did that, I noticed that a lot of the business characters or individuals in the Bible, well, not business, but a lot of the individuals, they started to, like, how I was interpreting the stories were more business related. So in the book, there's a chapter where I call Noah. That's the name of the chapter. And there's a quote from it that I said, God asked Noah to build the ark, and then he asked me to build my business, because it has to do with purpose. So what is your assignment while you're here? Like, so Noah's assignment was to build the ark. Like, that was his assignment. That was his entrepreneurial journey. Like, he had nothing, and all he had was the idea from God. And then he went in and he built it based on the instructions that God gave him. And so if we look at it the same way, like, especially if you're called to business, I know business is not for everyone, but if you are called to business, then it has to be the same thing. Like, God gives you the idea and you follow the instructions step by step to build it, even if it makes no sense, because there are times that it will not make sense, but you go ahead and you do it. And then at the end, it comes together like, okay, that's why now I get it. You could just show me the whole picture, God, to begin with, and then, but it makes sense. So I thought I was the only one who was looking at the Bible like that as business character, like, so sometimes the stories relate to that, for me at least. What about remaining obedient in your purpose and in your business? How do you feel about that, Alex? Especially for you as a newbie entrepreneur. And I know that, like, it can be a struggle with, like, oh my God, I need to hurry up and get to this or get to that, So how do you deal with remaining obedient and continuing to build even on days when you're tired or you don't feel like it, or, you're discouraged, basically?
Gosh, that is such a good question, because truly it is so hard, especially with what you said with, like, being new in the process. I feel like it's so easy to doubt, because, like, doubt's number one. I think that's most crippling with staying obedient, is you're just like, okay, this was a bad idea. Like, I should go back to school and get a nursing degree or, like, something a little more sound than being an entrepreneur. It's so hard, and you question all the time, like we've talked about before, if you are making up these dreams or these moments when you thought you heard God talking to you. So that's why I think it's so important, like I said, to just, I know it keeps coming up, but truly, like, you have to keep praying and checking in with God, because the devil is going to come in and he's going to make you, it's going to sound totally rational what he says. Like, even with this YouTube channel, so many times I've been like, God, why am I doing, like, this isn't, like, nobody's going to, like, watch, and, like, it isn't going to help anybody. I'm not, like, a doctor or a professional. And that's true, but not actually, like, entertaining that thought, and instead going to God and being like, hey, is this really what I'm supposed to do, God? And then he confirms it. I think that helps a lot, is when you kind of have, like, a negative thought about, like, what you're pursuing, to immediately bring it to the Father and kind of, like, double check. And he might switch your goals. Like, before, I was a pre-med student, and God, I came to him and he literally switched everything on me, and I pursued the MBA instead. So he might switch everything up, but I think you just have to keep him in the center so that you can remain obedient.
Yeah, you literally are reading my life right now. Like, it was a similar situation. Like, in my head, I was gonna be, like, an attorney, like a top-notch attorney.
No way.
I was gonna have a law office. So I started off my undergrad in criminal justice. And then by the time I got to my master's degree and PhD, totally went left field. And I was like, this is not for me. So that does happen, but it is the obedience, as you mentioned. It's definitely the obedience. This morning I was actually reading, it was the story of Daniel, and where the king wanted the dreams needed to be interpreted, and the king wanted individuals, and they wouldn't do it, so he decided to put them in the furnace and burn them, and then they still came out of the fire and they were okay. All right, I'm not one of those people like who remember like the exact scripture, but I know the stories, you know. And that has to do with obedience. It's funny that so crazy, like this aligns perfectly, because here it was that God told these individuals, serve me, do not, follow the world. They did it, and he protected them because of their obedience and allowed for them to come out of the fire untouched, even when the very same people that put them in the fire end up dying from the fire that they, so it's that obedience. It's crazy. It's that obedience. Okay, so in the book, there's like a part 1 and part 2, and I discuss, so the first part is mostly about spiritual, biblical situations, stories, a little bit about me, and then the second part, I call it the wisdom part. So how can we relate the wisdom piece of business? Because I look at it as a lot of times individuals are saying, oh, I have faith, but they're not taking action. And I feel like it's because they lack wisdom. So it's like they're stuck. And it's like, okay, so God is ready for you to build a business, but you're not doing anything to progress forward. You're just stuck. So how do you ladies feel about using prayer and wisdom in your business to grow in your purpose?
I guess that would be me. Right?
Yes, you can do it.
Because I am a coach and a consultant, I give wisdom all the time. Mm-hmm. And it goes hand in hand, especially in business, because even piggybacking on what you two were talking about obedience, I've had to learn instant obedience. I'm the type of person that I'm like, okay, God, yeah, then I'm going to get my nails done. I got to go here. I got to go TJ Maxx. I got to Target, and then I'll do it. And the Lord had to teach me, through me being a complete idiot, that it's important to instantly obey him. Delayed obedience is disobedience. And so when I'm coaching my clients, I find myself regurgitating the things that God has told me, whether it's about a book they're launching, whether it's about their marriage or about their relationship. Instant obedience. And in the moments where I don't have the words to say, because I am not divine, there is only one Lord, and his name is Jesus, all I can do is give wisdom from a place of my experiences. And what I've learned is it is best to believe God even if no one else believes you. And in business, we've all probably taken some leaps of faith that other people didn't agree with. You probably didn't agree with it at one point, but when God said a thing, you do it. And that's how I kind of put the two together, as far as, wisdom and faith and business. That's how I try to integrate it. At the end of the day, I know we all have to make money. That's how the system is set up. But as long as God is pleased and you are pleasing him, provision will follow.
Absolutely. And I feel like there's always I consider it two set of believers, right? We have some individuals who we have faith, and we have so much faith, but then we don't use any wisdom to execute. And then there's the other set who doesn't have any faith, and maybe they're just executing. And I feel like there is a firm balance between prayer and wisdom. Pray, worship, do your studies. I definitely agree with that, but I do believe that there is certain wisdom that we have to follow step by step, and it goes in alignment with God being order. Like, he is a God of order. Like, he specifically built the like day 1, day 2, day 3, that's how he developed, the world. So it's that structure, and I think that comes from wisdom. But yeah, that's my spiel on that. Do you have anything to say about that, Alex? About prayer and wisdom?
I know you guys are so good. I'm like, I should be taking notes over here. I love what you guys are saying so much. The only thing I'll add on is, if you're like feeling overwhelmed because you're like, how do I get wisdom? This sounds so great to have prayer and wisdom. But it literally, like, I'm reading Proverbs right now, and I would suggest reading Proverbs, first of all. Second of all, it literally, God just says, ask for wisdom and I will give it to you. Like, it's not something confusing. It's not something that we have to go through all these, hoops to achieve. Literally, it says it multiple times in the Bible, ask and you will be given. So that's all I want to say is, like, just ask for wisdom. I've been asking for it from the beginning with, my business, especially with the YouTube stuff, because I don't want to say something wrong. I'm sure I will, but, I always pray for wisdom. And I mean, so far, nobody's like sent me a terrible comment yet. So I think I'm doing okay. And yeah, so just pray. That's all. It's a big suggestion, but just ask God for wisdom. He'll give it to you.
Definitely. I agree with that 100%. So to wrap up this conversation, the goal of why I wrote the book is, what I'm hoping is that as faith-based entrepreneurs, whether we publicly, like whether there are individuals who are public about their faith or not, that individuals start to become more bold in their faith and letting folks know that, look, I'm not just building this business by myself. Like, yes, I've gotten to 6 figures. Yes, I've gotten to the mill, but it's not by myself. Like, I did not do it by myself. God was the center of this, So that's the goal in why I wrote the book. And so we can shift mindsets, start to be more bold in our faith, and kind of change how we show up, and even how we work with our clients, whether it's praying before a meeting or something like that. So that's why I wrote the book. All right, so we're going to take a few seconds to highlight some of the comments. Let me go check these out. So I see a few good jobs, so that's nice. Speak the truth. Incredible conversation. Thank you all so much. I definitely appreciate it. Also, be sure to tag someone in this live stream so they can catch it halfway through, or catch the rest of it, the replay. Be sure to tag a friend in there as well. So, okay. So that basically wraps up our conversation. Do you ladies have anything that you would like to add about God and business? And then, yeah. Do you ladies have anything to add about God and business and what you feel like they should know?
I think I'll go really quick. What I would just leave saying is, don't wait, and don't disqualify yourself right off the bat, because it's so easy to think you are unworthy, or just because you don't have like a certain degree or a certificate, it's not your place to do that. But truly, God in the end is the one, like we said, like, who gives us wisdom. Like, literally, he'll give you wisdom. That's pretty much all you need, besides like money and whatnot, to run a business. But truly, that's like a big part, is being wise enough to like discern what you're doing. So don't disqualify yourself, because it's so easy to do that. And then also just don't wait, because I do have regret in a way for waiting so long to even just start this YouTube channel. And it took like a really significant event in my life happening. It's just like we lost my brother 5 months ago in his fight with addiction and mental health issues. And that kind of just pushed me to be like, oh my gosh, I need to give people hope. People are hurting out there. And like, I want to share my story. I've always wanted to, but I was so scared. So that's why I'm just saying, don't wait for like a traumatic event to happen in your life to actually like do your business idea. Just do it, just dive in, and it's going to be messy. It's not going to be perfect at all in the beginning, but it's never going to be that way. Like, you can't wait till it's going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Just dive in, go for it, and God is going to guide your steps. You can't stay still. You have to take a step, and he'll be there. He'll direct you.
Dr. D? Oh, there we go.
Sorry. Yes, I said that was perfect. That was so perfect. I would honestly say that entrepreneurship is a journey, and sometimes the journey takes you in the valley, and sometimes it takes you on the mountaintop. And there may be seasons where you can't just scream Jesus Christ at every single client. If you can't, smother them with oil or, whatever you do, you can at least be like him. And so the biggest thing about Christian-based businesses is that people look for the leaders to look like Jesus. And so that would be my little piece of advice, is just be like Jesus in how you talk, in how you manage your money, how you talk to people, how you manage your YouTube, how you manage your Instagram, how you respond to people. Just make sure you look like your Father. Jesus.
Absolutely. You literally you just said something a while ago. And what I wrote about law, about following God would not pay his taxes. So why would you not pay the taxes? I believe it's so embarrassing as believers, God, let's say you really you blow up, you've arrived essentially, and then you don't pay your taxes, and now you're in this big old scandal and blog, and the first thing individuals are going to say is, oh, and she's a Christian, or he's a Christian. It's so quick that we can embarrass the kingdom because we don't follow what we are supposed to do and do things the right way. If you're supposed to have a business license, go get the business license. And that's that part about wisdom. That's the part about wisdom. If you're supposed to get the license, if you're supposed to renew the license, if you're supposed to not collect money on Cash App and do it the right way, or not hide money, don't do things the wrong way, because at the end of the day, it will catch up to you. It will catch up. And that is where a lot of individuals you'll see, it could be 20 years from now, you'll always see somebody saying, oh, so-and-so arrested for tax fraud. It doesn't matter, it will catch up, and it's in the Bible. The truth is gonna come out. It's in there. So that's that part of wisdom, doing things the right way, doing it the right way. All right. So I definitely appreciate both of you ladies being here. I want to, let's see what's up next. I want to take a moment and say thanks to some individuals. So first of all, thank you to both you ladies. A lot of, anyone that's watching this broadcast don't know, but I know that God sent you ladies both to help me with this. Literally, I know it, you both were obedient in doing this, no questions asked. I know that, and I definitely appreciate it for sure. I will also like to thank Primal Elements. So a lot of individuals have asked me who designed the book cover. It was not me. I don't do this work. But Primal Elements, they designed the book cover and make me look like I know what I'm doing. That's that wisdom. Delegating where necessary. So thank you very much to Primal Elements for designing the book cover. The webpage that you guys see, that is all them. They are on social media at Go Primal. And if you forget, like I said, just send me a DM and I will get that information over to you guys. And also Trinidad Mogolista as well. My social media manager has been vital in executing the marketing strategy for this book. Thank you very much to that. Thank you to Candice Nicole PR, my PR person, who has done a remarkable job and we haven't really begun yet, but she's done a really great job in helping me get the message of this book out. And so the book has been able to be featured on, I believe it's been NBC, Fox, and a few more outlets. So it's crazy to think that a book about God that I got this on these platforms. Like it's really mind blowing. Like it is beyond mind blowing, and there's been countless others as well too. But those are just a few. So thanks so much to Candace and also KLJ Network as well. Thank you very, very much for putting together this live stream so it can look beautiful and we can look coordinated and organized and very well presented in excellence. And of course, my family and friends, because I do not want them to threaten me. The family and friends that will hop on later or text you. You didn't say thank you. Thank you all very much. My mom, my dad, my sisters, my brothers, cousin, auntie, uncles, nephews, small, everyone, thank you very, very much. A lot of my family and friends have been through the tears, have dealt with me avoiding them because I'm busy writing the book. I've literally like, I'm just making sure you're okay, So thank you all very, very much for that, allowing me guys to be in your space, especially in a moment when I need to just vent and get a lot of things off. So I appreciate that for sure. So those are the thank yous. And what else did I forget? Oh, and then I wanted to do a giveaway of 2 of the books. So we wanted to do a giveaway. And let's see here. All right. So I hope you guys have been sharing out this broadcast, tagging your friends and family in the broadcast. All right. Does anyone have any questions about faith and business that either of us can answer? We are all here to help. As you guys know, Dr. D is also a coaching consultant. Alex deal with mental health as well. And even on the topic is mental health, Alex, I think what I've noticed is there's been a trend amongst business owners and anxiety. And I'm not sure if that's like the attack that's currently well, it probably is the attack. How would you say that individuals should, if you're in business, manage the stress level and anxiety? What exactly would be your recommendations?
Geez. Yeah, anxiety. I mean, that's like something that my brother had. And I mean, I even get like a lump in my throat sometimes when I think about like everything that I'm supposed to be doing. And, it can be overwhelming, especially in the beginning process of entrepreneurship. But even if you're in it, I think you said this, Dr. Price, but even just like prayer before an important meeting could be really helpful to alleviate the stress. And I know it's like, hey, that's not practical. I want something more practical, but really like that prayer before, it will just help you remember that like somebody else is taking care of you. So I think that's important, like before big decisions or big business meetings, pray. And then maybe even if like you're already in it, you have employees, all of that, just integrating something. I mean, I don't know if you could allow it, but maybe just even for your employees, like every hour, allow them to get up for 10 minutes and do some like stretching and stuff. And you could even make it like a group thing where everybody does like 10-minute stretching. That could help relieve anxiety big time. And that's free. It's not going to cost you any additional money as a business owner to do that. So just right off the top of my head, like those are a few things that I would suggest to help.
Yeah, and Alex, Davisha wants to know, what do you do when you feel discouraged?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Because that's me. That's me all the time with starting a business, because things take longer than you think. Or like with me, because I'm making prototypes. Some of them, like I thought the design was going to be so cute. I designed it myself, and it's like, oh, this is not cute. This is not cute at all. So discouraged. So the point is to keep going. You have to keep going. Don't give up, because I think it's so easy to give up and be discouraged and be depressed and sad. And that's fine. If you're severely depressed, like medication, counseling, there is nothing wrong with that at all. But the main point is to not stay in that and do whatever you can to try to like help you just take one more step every day, one day at a time. Just don't give up. Don't stop. Don't stop.
I agree with that. I agree. One day at a time. And sometimes you just really have to break it down like that. one day at a time, and take a breather and, find something to laugh at. Um, as as crazy as this may sound, when I was going through a really bad depression, I talk about it in the book as well. What really helped me a lot was watching Instagram comedians. Like, as crazy as it may sound, they pulled me back. It just laughing. I think it just does something with the brain chemicals and make us, it works. It works. So just simple things as watching that, doing things like that, it 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 helps, but you have to intentionally take a step and get it done. So what about you, Dr. D? How do you feel about entrepreneurs' anxiety and our stress that we go through, especially now? This has been a crazy year, especially as a business owner. If your business is still alive and you have survived, then you can make it through the next year and any more years to come.
Thank you, Jesus.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I will not. If you have made it through this year as a business owner, you can make it. Okay, you can. So, what are your recommendations for anxiety and stress? Do you have any scripture references that individuals can go to when they're feeling a bit of anxious?
Oh, okay. Discouragement, anxiety. My father passed April the 5th, and I was about to launch my book, God, I'm Disappointed. And so I can speak from a fresh place of discouragement. And the first thing I learned how to do was to cry. Like, I don't have to be strong. Jesus is strong for me. Matter of fact, God needs me to be weak because I like to be in control. And I think God likes me better broken because then I listen better. So I learned how to literally cry. I learned how to be honest. Secondly, radical honesty. I walked in Starbucks in the midst of that business anxiety. Like, God, I'm not getting any clients. I don't know what I'm going to do. Should I apply for unemployment? And I walked into the barista. She goes, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hi. She goes, how are you? I'm not doing well. My dad died. I don't have any money. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Radical honesty. And she looks at me and she goes, well, you come in here often, and so I'm pretty sure you're going to land on your feet because God is with you. I looked, I'm like, lady, you got all that from my grande almond milk latte? And I say that to say, you never know who's watching you. And so sometimes just being honest, you'd be surprised at how God can speak through anyone, okay? The third thing I would suggest is music. I'm a music person. I will find a song to play, and you'd be surprised as an entrepreneur, as methodical as I am, I run from the presence of God when I'm angry. I'm like, I want to be angry by myself. And so I have to force myself sometimes to just hit the song and let it play and let the melody and whatever that the Lord gave those people to sing the song to rest on me. And so scriptures, I would suggest, I may have to send you a list, but I am good for quoting Jeremiah 29:11. I know the thoughts that he has towards me are good. Even if my thoughts are trash, he thinks good about me. And I believe he's given me an expected end. Sometimes I have to remind myself that I am not in this because God is punishing me. His thoughts towards me are to give me an expected end. So I have to make it there. So there is no giving up. There is no getting too weary. I let God give strength. So that would be my response there.
Absolutely. Music does it for me always. Yep. It really does. There's something about certain songs, like, if you have to cry it out or if you need that burst of energy, but it is therapeutic. I think there's actually I think I heard of, I don't know if it's a branch of psychology or something that's called music therapy, that help individuals who are struggling with depression, anxiety. I think I've heard of it. I could be wrong, but I've heard of music therapy, and it does help. It does help. But there is something I created playlists specifically for this launch, and I call it Prayer and Work. And no, I call it Prayer and Work and Faith. And it goes with the mood. Like, sometimes you just need to calm down, worship, and then another time you need to just, okay, I need to get the work done. I need some energetic, let's get this music going so I can get this work done, so God's will be done, right? So I definitely love that. All right, so let's see here in regards to, oh, well, before I jump to the giveaway, I wanted to say this, that I don't want anyone to feel as if, like, as a faith-based entrepreneur, that you have to be perfect. I am far from perfect.
Me too.
I am not perfect whatsoever. You do not have to be perfect. But I believe that the book, especially, it allows for us to look at our business in a different light, to bring it to God, so that way He blesses it and He leads us, and we're on the right path, because everyone that comes across your business, their life should be changed for the better, and that can only be done with God. Whether it's your YouTube page, your actual group program, one-on-one, whatever it is, them buying a product, their life should be changed. So do not believe that this book is some holy art thou situation where you have to know. Like, I personally don't care, and it's not up to me to judge of anyone's lifestyle that they're living. I don't care. My only request is that you read the book, dedicate your business to God, and serve God. And we'll all work on our imperfections as we go along, because we all have them. We all have them. So all right. So for the giveaway of the book, I want to give a copy of the book to Erica Dove. Are you still on here, Erica Dove? Please tell me you are on here. And here is why, Erica. Because I have seen you through this entire launch process. You have commented, shared, liked every single content. I have watched you, and you showed up here. It is the least I can give to you, the least I can do for you is to give you a copy of the book, Erica. So congratulations, Erica. Please send me a message with your name and your mailing address. All right. And I will get a copy of the book mailed out to you as soon as possible. All right. So thank you all for that. And then, like I said before, the book is available. Go to sidjaeprice.com/chasing rainbows. All right. Check out the book. Also, do not forget to follow Alex on Instagram. Follow Dr. D on Instagram. Check out Alex's YouTube series, and we will all be supporting when the clothing line comes out. Alex will be. Do not worry.
Thank you.
They're supporting, and I must commend you on just showing up and talking about your past struggles and how you moved on for that, because so many times people don't talk about the past. They just want to make it look as if, like, oh, I showed up perfect. I was never there. So it's that I don't like that. I feel like we should all be honest with ourselves, with each other. It makes the faith walk and the faith journey more easy, right? So okay, and then what else is there? Okay, so that'll be really it. Thank you again. Oh, I think I saw somebody said it was supposed to be 2 winners. I will do the other book giveaway on my Instagram page. So don't worry. I have to share between my Facebook and my Instagram audience. So I'll do another giveaway over there. Okay. So thank you once again to my partners for the book, Primal Elements, Trinidad Mogalista, Candace Nicole Nicart, Elevate Now, Creative Media, KL Jones Network, and my friends and my family. I truly appreciate, again, to my partners for the book, Primal Elements, Trinidad Mogalista, Candace Nicole Nicart, Elevate Now, Creative Media, KL Jones Network, and my friends and my family. I truly appreciate you all. Make sure that you get a copy of the book. Leave a review. Give me some feedback. Let me know you guys are reading it. Let me know that I heard God correctly. All right. So thank you all so much for joining. I definitely appreciate it. And do not forget to share this live stream out with your friends, family, and I will let you guys know where the replays are available. All right. That'll be it, you guys. Thank you so much.